Hello everybody, I'm Mark Mazzatenta. I'm here to help strengthen your guitar skills. Thank you for watching. Today's topic is about slash chords. And I've got a coffee here. Helped me out this morning. That's good. It's Southern Pecan with vanilla creamer. And boy, do I need this morning because it's early. But this was the only time that I could make a new video this week. So bear with me, might look a little sleepy. And I'm gonna talk about slash chords because oftentimes my students will print out a song and they'll have a question about some of the chord symbols. If they see like G/B or D/F sharp, it's hard to know what that means. So I'm here today to resolve those questions about slash chords. So don't panic. All it means if you see D/F sharp is that you're playing a D chord. It's just that there's an F sharp in the bass. So let's talk about what is a root and what is just a bass note. If you see the chord symbol D, they're just saying to play a D major chord. There we go. And a D is the root. That's what names the chord. However, you could have different notes in that bass position. So you could get rid of the root as the bass note and put an F sharp down there. I like that. I get to bring my thumb over and grab that F sharp. Sneaky. Okay, but since F sharp is a part of that chord, it sounds nice and it can replace the root as the new bass note. An A is also a part of a D chord. So you could have that in the bass position. You would have, that would be labeled D/A. You're playing a D chord, it's just that you have an A in as your low bass note. That's all. That's all it means. So here are the common progressions that you'll see happen hundreds of times in songs. You'll get these, and they're going down the page here. So you would have a C chord go into a G/B to A minor. So there's an example of a slash chord. That's what it would look like if you labeled it. But the progression goes down here, or it can go the other way. Same on this side. You've got G to a D/F sharp. There's your slash notation there. And then moving on to an E minor. And you can go either way through that progression. So like this progression happens in songs like Dust in the Wind and Landslide, and there's probably hundreds of songs that use that formula. So let me play it. You'll recognize it. What that does is it gives you a smooth bass line. That's the purpose of it. So instead of going C, G, A, you get C, B, A. You get a stepwise smooth bass line. That's the G with a B in the bass. And that gets you to your A minor. And you can go the opposite way. A minor, G/B, and then up to C. You'll see that same thing starting on a G chord. So it's G, F sharp, E. But is that second chord an F sharp chord? No, it's a D chord. It just happens to have another note in the bass, the F sharp. And you can hear it's better than G, D, E. It gives you this stepwise bass line, which is nice. So you'll hear that pattern in hundreds of songs. All right, when else will you see a slash chord? Well, sometimes slash chords are used as a personal preference as to how to label a certain type of chord. So let's look at these two on the top row here. This is labeled D with a G in the bass, and you can see the D triad there, and it has a G in the bass. Now, for me personally, I'd probably just call that a G chord, a G major 7 with an added second, because that's what you get. But you have this choice of how to label it. So if you have this harmony, it's very colorful. Do you just call it D because you can see that D triad up there? D slash G? You could. But to me, that sounds like a G major 7 chord. It just has an added second in there. So those are your choices. But sometimes you'll see it as a slash chord. How about this one over here? B flat, you can see that B flat triad with an E flat in the bass. So you can label it with the slash notation. For me, once again, I would probably just label it as an E flat chord of some type. And what that type is a major 7, once again, with an added second. So this type of sound, to me, that's an E flat major 7. It's just a little bit fancier voicing of it. It's got the second in there. But you can see that somebody might say, well, look, this is a B flat. It's a B flat triad with an E flat in the bass. So both labels are correct. It's just personal preference as to how you would label that. All right, let's look at another thing that you might find. Let's look over here. You see C slash B flat. Ooh, the B flat is the lowered 7th of a C chord. So you've got like the dominant 7th in the bass. Now that often will resolve to this chord below it here, an F with an A in the bass. Sometimes these are called inversions. So if I take a C triad, that has a strong dissonance in there. It's the lowered 7th. Your ear really wants to hear that resolve down, and it will most of the time. All right, it goes to an F, but with an A in the bass. Music theory students, you would be labeling that 5-4-2 going to 1-6. Okay, it's a C with a B flat in the bass going to an F with an A in the bass. It's a softer kind of cadence compared to, hear that? It's more slick and soft. And the final example would be probably the most, well, there's two more left. This one is another beautiful chord, G slash A. I talked about this dominant 11th chord in one of my other videos, but here it is again. You see a G triad with an A in the bass. So you can use slash notation to indicate that. That's a G major chord, but if you put an A in the bass, now it becomes like a fancy A7, which would go to a D of some kind. I like that. You could also call it just A11 or G slash A, your preference. And here's the most dissonant one down here in the corner, D with a B flat in the bass. The B flat doesn't belong in the D chord. So you're going to expect some tension there. Here's D, but with a B flat in the bass. Woo! Now normally you're going to hear that bass note resolve, usually up, which now becomes this beautiful B minor 7 chord. Here's the slash chord, D triad with a B flat in the bass. So sometimes you'll get some that are nice and crunchy and interesting like that. So those are all the uses I think that you'll see, you know, with labels. If you print out a song or something, you're going to see some of these slash chords. And now I think you'll know what they mean and what shapes to use to play those. All right, everybody, have fun practicing your guitar. I hope that helped. Maybe you learned a few different chord shapes from that. Now you can be confident knowing what slash chords are. Thank you for watching. My numbers have been going up with subscribers and people watching my videos, so I thank you very, very much. I'm on the march to get 1,000 subscribers. That would be really fun. And I'll see you at the next video.